So you're sick and tired of losing ladder games because of a Pharah? You have come to the right place. This video will give you the strategies on every position to stop her from destroying your team and start your climb on the ladder. Before we get into how to counter Pharah, you need to understand why Pharah is hard to counter, as this will allow you to make counter decisions on your own as the meta changes. Pharah is definitely one of the most annoying characters to counter, especially in low to medium SR, as she has high mobility and does tons of damage. All of these abilities combined makes a great Pharah able to stay alive for a long time by getting out of line of sight when she is low, while also dealing massive amounts of damage. A good Pharah player will prioritize your team's backline, support mains in Overwatch 2 are used to this by now, and then pick off the rest of the team. Finally, the hardest thing about countering Pharah is obviously Farm Mercy. For those of you who aren't familiar, this is when the enemy team picks a Mercy to pocket the Pharah. Utilizing this strategy will allow the Pharah to do more damage due to Mercy's damage boosting beam, allow her to get healed instantly when you manage to hit her, and allow her to be revived if she makes a mistake. But don't worry, we are about to learn how to counter her on every position. Before we get into position-specific counter picks and strategies, there is one important note. The best counter to Pharah is going to be the map. Regardless of who you are fighting her with, you want to put yourself in a position with an escape route. Remember, Pharah is most effective shooting down on you at range. If you can force her to follow you into a building or under a roof, even if she kills you, your team will most likely trade her out. Now let's get into it. DPS is the most obvious position where Pharah can be countered and the one that gets screamed at in low rank lobbies when she isn't being killed. Ideally, if you can aim, the best way to counter Pharah is going to be utilizing a character with high burst damage, aka damage that hits all at once and has the ability to one-shot. The best characters to do this will be Widowmaker and Sojourn. Countering Pharah on Widowmaker is probably the most straightforward on this guide, as you simply need to aim and click her head. A good Pharah will make this hard by air strafing, surfing, and generally staying out of line of sight, but if you are a Valorant pro, this should be easy work. To counter Pharah with Sojourn is going to take a bit more finesse. Sojourn's primary fire is actually a very fast projectile, which becomes a problem when trying to utilize it to shoot her out of the sky, as she will usually be keeping her distance. What you want to do in this matchup is charge up your railgun, most likely on a tank, until it is 100%, then hit her in the head. Both Sojourn and Widow are great counters to not only Pharah, but the easiest counters to Farm Mercy, as Mercy cannot heal through burst damage and your presence will make it dangerous for Mercy to be floating around. If you are not a Valorant pro and can't hit Pharah or Mercy consistently with these heroes, there is still hope. While Cassidy, Soldier, and Ashe are good picks for killing Pharah, they have the downside of essentially having to duel Pharah while trying to hit her. And if she has a Mercy, she will be able to continually get healed, taking away any progress you make, as you are unable to kill her in one shot. If you choose to utilize these characters, make sure you time your shots between Pharah's rockets while strafing them, and make sure to kill the Mercy first. So what if you can't aim at range with any of the aforementioned characters? There is still hope. The best low ELO Pharah counter may surprise you. Sombra. Sombra is not what you think about at first when counterpicking Pharah, but stick with me. In order to counter Pharah as Sombra, you will need to utilize your abilities and time things properly. All Pharahs will eventually need to get close enough to the ground to hack her. When Pharah is hacked, she will be unable to boost or fly away from you and will be getting a damage mitigation reduction from the hack, aka she dies fast. Sombra can also work well in Farm Mercy comps, as you can often hack the Pharah and she will fall out of LOS of the Mercy, allowing you to kill her before Mercy can get there to heal. Once Pharah is dead, if Sombra is nearby her body, it is a death sentence for Mercy to try and revive her. The other option on Sombra for Farm Mercy would be to target the Mercy, kill her, TP out, then come back for Pharah before Mercy has time to spawn and get back into the fight. Before we move on, if you could take this moment to scroll down and sub to my channel, I'd greatly appreciate it. I love making videos for you all and it really helps me out. Contrary to popular gold player beliefs, Pharah is not only the problem of your DPS. Tanks, while not as effective of a direct counter most times, can assist and often take care of a Pharah. On tank, there's only one really good pick. I often see people try and go Orisa or Roadhog to counter her, but this is not going to give consistent results. Orisa is just silly. People try to pick her to shoot the Pharah with primary fire, which is a projectile, refer to projectiles trying to hit Pharah with Sojourn. This strategy will have you shooting in the air until your entire team uninstalls and plays balloons. Roadhog is almost funnier, as people pick him to try and hook the Pharah. While this happens on occasion, there's a reason your whole team gets hyped when it does. We cannot rely on miracle plays to win matches. Your best bet to help out with or kill a Pharah on tank is D.Va. D.Va has the ability to fly up with Pharah and deal damage close range while also completely negating her primary fire and her ultimate. In order to counter Pharah, you'll want to find her, jet toward her while using defense matrix, and start using primary fire and micro missiles when you are close. This burst damage works similarly to killing her with Sojourn or Widow without the need to aim like a pro. I know. Support? Tipsy, how can I counter on support? I must heal. First off, you're a support, not a healer. If you want to climb, learn the difference, but we'll save that for another video. Supports will counter Pharah in similar ways as our DPS counterparts. Our primary goal for counting Pharah on support is to be able to get into position with LOS of her and do damage at range, where dodging her rockets will be reasonably easy. Ideally, we also want to be able to position ourselves behind our team while doing this so we can continue to support them with heals and abilities to take the rest of the team. This leaves us with two options. First, we have Ana. Ana is a decent pick here as you literally equipped with a sniper that doesn't require headshots to do damage, and it's hit scan. To counter Pharah on Ana, you will need to be very cautious of your positioning and keep track of her at all times, as if she gets the drop on you, you really don't have the ability to get away without help from your team. Which, let's be honest, in Platter Below isn't happening. Not only are you able to help damage the Pharah while healing your team, but you are able to completely shut down Pharah's ultimate. Most Pharahs will drop their ult into the biggest cluster of enemies they can find. The great part about her ult is that she's left sitting completely still in the air, making her an incredible target for a sleep dart. If you sleep Pharah in her ult, not only will she stop shooting, but she will fall down into the middle of your team like muck in a pig pen. Feed those little piggies. This leaves us with my personal favorite support for countering Pharah, Baptiste. Baptiste is equipped with a hit scan burst rifle that does decent damage, can survive a couple of rockets with immortality, has a self heal, and can get into cheeky positions with his rocket boots. My personal strategy for fighting a Pharah on Baptiste is to get into a good position with cover and an escape nearby. Start shooting her, and when she turns to you, continue until you are hit by a rocket. Throw down immortality on yourself and take a couple more shots. At this point, hopefully you have hit her a few times and she may even be dead. If this is not the case, you still have two more options. Self-heal and continue firing while using rocket jump, as this will force Pharah to momentarily direct impact you in the air for the kill, which most can't consistently do. On top of all of this, your burst rifle does a ton of damage through your ultimate. If all else fails and the Pharah needs to die, drop window in front of yourself and you can easily two-shot her before she knows what hit her. That's it, nerds. If you enjoyed the video, drop a sub on your way out, as there are many more to come. Now, go climb the ladder.